What's up, everyone? Today is the second trading day of January, and I'm finishing the morning up $11,376. Yes, that's the smell of redemption. I bounced back. So what was the stock that got me above the five-figure mark? Well, you're going to hear all about it in today's midday market recap. All right, everyone. So let's jump right in and start breaking down the trades from this morning. So today is a nice bounce back. Yesterday, started the month, started the year in the hole. It's, you never like to start a year like that. And it's not the first time I've done it. So I can say from experience, it's not fun, but, it is the way it goes sometimes. So anyways, today's a really nice rebound, finishing the morning up $11,376.47. Not bad for 43 minutes of trading. That's it. I was done by 10:13. That was when I closed up my last trade. So the bulk of these profits were in the first 30 minutes, and hitting a $12,000 winner on HGSH was very nice. Now, you'll see here 3 names I traded. I'm red on LEDS. This one I let ride a little more because I had such a big cushion on the day. So on this one I was up maybe like $1,500, and I gave it room to really open up, thinking that it might work, and it ended up not working. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't already have a cushion on the name. And this is one of the things that someone asked me yesterday on the YouTube video in the comments. He said, Russ, if you hit your $2,000 goal or you hit your $1,000 goal, why didn't you just stop trading? And here's the thing. If I stop trading every time I hit my daily goal of $1,000 or whatever it is, $1,000 I guess is pretty much my goal, then I would never have the day when I make $30,000 or $40,000, because I would have stopped when I had that first winner that put me over the line. And so you have to know when to, be willing to, keep trading and push it, and when to, step back, take your money and walk away. And it's, it's a tricky decision. The fact that there isn't a hard set rule of when you cross this dollar amount, you walk away, means it's left to your discretion. And anytime things are left to your discretion, when it's something like trading, there's room for error. You made the wrong decision. Instead of taking the profit yesterday and walking away, I pushed it a little too hard and I finished the day in the red. Well, today I was up $9,800 on HGSH, and I kept trading, and I made another $3,000 on that name. So finishing up $12,700 on one stock, and that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't willing to keep trading. So, that's just one of those things that you have to be able to each day take the temperature of the market. And are we in a strong market today where I can afford to be more aggressive? Do I have a big profit cushion? Or is the market a little bit choppier? And today I took my cue after 2 kind of small losses. The last loss on HGSH, I gave back like $150, and the loss on LEDS, I lost $1,600. So after those 2, I said, okay, now I'm going to step back, and that was, I think, probably the right place to do it. So let's look at HGSH. Actually, let's look at WKHS first, because this was the very first trade of the day. So WKHS was gapping up pre-market with news. And so we were watching this for a gap and go trade. So the pre-market highs were 325. And so as soon as the bell rang, this had dipped down just a little bit. And I jumped in as it started to squeeze up long 5,000 shares. I wanted to get in at 315. But remember, whenever I press an order, let's say for, PXS, if I want to get in at 316, my order is going to be like at 321. It's usually 5 cents higher. And it's because I do want to allow a little bit of slippage, because it's usually better to get in a couple cents higher than to miss the whole opportunity. So in this case, I got in, but I was in not at exactly where I wanted to be. It popped up and it tapped 325, and then it actually went all the way up to 330. And I sold as it was squeezing up at 323. I saw a couple sellers on the ask at 25. I wasn't sure if it was really going to work, and I ended up stopping out. So I did sell this. Let's see. Yeah, I sold it on the ask, and I did pick up liquidity for that exit, which is good. But, wasn't the easiest trade. So that was a small winner, $266, first trade, 30 seconds into the day. And I actually thought I sold half, and then I tried to sell the rest, and, I got an error because I was already all out. So a little mix up on my hotkeys there. And then the next one was HGSH. And this one was funny because it was on our watch list because it was gapping up. I believe the news was earnings. And so, I said, well, it's interesting. I'll keep it on watch, but I don't know. It's a little cheap. I'm not sure it's going to do much. So I just kind of looked it over and didn't think a lot about it. And then all of a sudden, someone's like, look at HGSH. It's squeezing up. And it popped from $1.80 right to $2. And so as I saw it made that big 20-cent move, that's when I said, okay, I'm jumping in at $2. And you can see here I got filled. I put out 4 orders, and all 4 of them were partial fills. At $98, $2, $2.03, and $2.06, all of them were partial fills. So I then have to cancel those orders, because if I leave those orders out, I'm trying to buy 10,000 shares. And remember, my account's a little smaller right now, so I can't leave those orders out, or I'm going to get errors with can't exceed buying power, right? And that's what ended up happening. I got errors about my buying power, so I was like, okay, I need to cancel these and then place a new order to add for the $0.50 break. So I put a new order out to add for the $0.50 break of 43, 44, and 45. At this point, I'm just like, the stock is going super strong. It's just taking off. So I'm going to try to ride the momentum. So I now have an average of 225. And my stop is, kind of at that point right about break even because I was up 25 cents. It now gets halted on a circuit breaker for 10 minutes because it moved 10% in a 5-minute period. It resumes at 3.24 and I'm up $1 per share. Boom, full $1 per share. And then you can see here it squeezes up. So on resumption, I started selling and then I started adding, ending up adding at 316, selling at 329, adding at 346, selling at 369, adding back at 346 and 350, selling at 365. So this is, again, the way I usually trade these, moving in, moving out quickly as I'm watching the tape and reading the time and sales. So learning to read the tape is a huge asset to you. And for me, on a lot of these stocks, there are certainly times where you could say, geez, you would have been better off just holding your whole position, from the beginning and just one entry and one exit. And you can certainly do that as a beginner trader. I just don't seem to do as well when I trade that way. I do better moving in and out as I see the level 2 and the time and sales. So anyways, getting back in at 80, selling at 93, getting back in at 91, selling at 415, and then I had LEDS. So, kind of wrapped up the trades there on that one. LEDS hits the scanners, and it's one of these stocks that kind of likes to do sympathy momentum. So you see one stock start to move, and next thing you know, traders will jump into the next one. So whoever jumped into it down here at 425 obviously did very well on that squeeze up to 579. I tried to add as it was squeezing because I was like, okay, it's strong and I know this one likes to pop up like this. So I put out my order at 10,000 shares at 457. I was ready to step up to the plate because at this point I'm like, look, I'm up $10,000. I can be a little aggressive. I only filled 451 shares. So imagine if I filled 10,000 shares right there at 460, it squeezes up to 579. That would have been another $10,000. This would have been a $20,000 day. Obviously, I didn't get filled. It's halted. It resumes at 10 a.m. I add at 540, 547. It pops up to a high of 579. I didn't sell it because I thought maybe it would hit $6. Ended up pulling back down and I stopped out at 510 and a little slippage at 588. So, that's kind of just the way it goes. I guess I should have just sold it when I was up 20 cents or 30 cents after it broke over the $0.50, but I was just holding it thinking that maybe it would tap $6. So I gave it time for a 1 minute micro pullback here, but then eventually it broke down on this candle and I couldn't afford to keep holding it. So gave back a little bit of profit on that. And then my very last trade on HGSH was on the 5 minute setup. First 5 minute candle to make a new high, which is a good pattern. You can see it here. So I got in anticipating the breakout at 376 and 378, adding at 399, expecting it to break over 4. It then hits a hidden seller at $4. And you can see lots of buying, lots of accumulation at 4, and it was not breaking that level. It hit, just 4. And so I sold a little at 399 and sold the rest at 384 and 380. So gave back a little bit on that, but not much. And it was worth a stab because this could have gone all the way back up to high of day. And that would have been a fantastic trade. So it was definitely worth the $150 of risk. So, that's about it for me today. Overall, a pretty solid day of trading. I didn't actually tally up my accuracy here. So today is day 238 of the $1 Million Challenge. So we're crossing out of the $100,000 challenge of 2017 and now carrying it into the $1 Million Challenge for 2018 and on. So sitting right now at $342,000. I'm 34% of the way there, up about $7,000 on the month. Obviously, yesterday was red, so I had to jump back and get myself into the green, and hopefully we just see some better opportunities, in the next couple days, and I can be, aggressive and get my way up towards $15,000, $20,000 on the month. I don't really have hard set monthly goals because, some months I'll make $80,000 and other months I'm only going to make like 10 grand. It's just based on the market and I can't really control that. So, if we're in a really strong market, I'll make a lot. It'll be a great month. If the market slows down, I'll have to slow down with it and, let the profits from November and December kind of carry me over until we see some good follow through again. But I'm hoping that we see good continuation here in January, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. And look at this AQB yesterday. At 2 p.m, this thing squeezes from $4 all the way up to $10. A surprise afternoon squeeze. So we are still seeing some pretty incredible momentum. Yesterday's CHCI was also a strong one. It continued a little bit today. Today, of course, HGSH, LEDS. PXS is an interesting one. This one popped up on the scanners and it came right back down. Cone, another one that popped up on the scanners and came right back down. So that's when we started to see some false breakouts. And that's when I said, I gotta kind of reduce my risk here and scale back. CPAH, lighter volume, has a nice window from like 388 to 679. CLNT, another one kind of creeping up. It tapped 942 today. So it's got kind of a window here, but again, lighter volume on this one. So anyways, I'm just glad to be back in the green, and that's definitely a better way to kind of start the year. TEUM, Cheryl, answer your question on that. So why was TEUM not a stock that I was closely watching? So this one has been on the scanners a lot of days in the last couple weeks. You can see a lot of days it's gapping and moving around. And if you look at the average volume, it's like about 25 million shares a day. So very thickly traded. And I, being someone who really likes to read the tape, I have a hard time reading the tape on stocks that have that much volume, 27 million shares, because I look at this and I'm like, oh, there's a 17,000 share seller there. I kind of have to wait. But when you have this amount of volume, someone can buy him up in a second. I mean, someone could just place a 20,000 share order and he's gone. And so you start to see just the reading the tape is not as easy. And so you have to focus a little bit more on the chart, which is fine, except when stocks have this amount of volume, you see a lot of false breakouts because you kind of have, I don't know, it's just a little bit more of a tug of war. Traders with a long bias, traders with a short bias, and it doesn't mean that this didn't have some range today, especially right out of the gates. You know, it did squeeze up to 340, but I just don't feel like I trade these as well when they have that much volume. So I kind of steered clear. I would say maybe over 310 would have been a spot to potentially watch. I mean, that does look nice. But yeah, I just am not as good at trading these ones when they get kind of thickly traded. I sort of just look at it as this tug of war. You've got traders with really deep pockets coming in, marketing in with huge size, and that creates these whips to the downside, whips to the upside, and I just find that I get chopped out. I get faked out a lot more when I trade them. So I don't know why, other than the level 2 and the tape being a little bit harder to read. So no trades on TEUM, but yeah, good question there. Jeffrey, your question there, looking at those screens you have there, it's like doing a checklist before you get catapulted off an aircraft carrier. So yeah, we definitely have the pre-trading routine every single morning. It's like, okay, have I slept well, eaten well? Check. Do I have a couple stocks I like? Check. What's the condition of the overall market? We're in a strong market. We're in, a medium market. We're in a weak market. How many small caps do we have on the gap scanner? Is it a small cap day or is it a large cap day? Do we have anything happening with like cryptocurrency? Is there going to be influence from the crypto markets today? And so there is kind of that checklist that you do internally to make sure that this is the day to be aggressive. And HGSH, the reason I was aggressive on it was because it was gapping up with news. I was already familiar with it. I didn't expect it to make a big move, but once it started to move, I jump on the momentum. And so I talk about that a lot, that part of my strategy often is buying stocks high and selling them higher. So that kind of, saying of buy low, sell high, it doesn't really apply as much to day trading because look, HGSH was already gapping up, 20%. So we're obviously already buying it high. I mean, it's already high. We're not buying this low, it's high. But what I found, and this was kind of the big, discovery for me, is that every single day, there are stocks that move 20 to 30% every single day. And so if we can get in those stocks when they're up only 5 to 10% or maybe 20%, we can ride them for another 10, 20, 30%. And so even if we only capture, a quarter of that 30% move, that's still a big winner, especially compared to trying to trade, stocks like, your Apples and your Facebooks on a daily basis. These ones are just become so difficult to try to day trade. Obviously the volume is high. They're really popular with the algos, the high frequency traders. And, it's just something that is not easy for us to trade. So, let's see. And Skylar, no, I haven't traded futures or Forex, just stocks. It's kind of one of these things, I sort of compare it to instruments in the band. You know how to play this one instrument, whatever, the guitar. And it doesn't mean you don't want to kind of maybe test out the drums at some point or maybe test the violin, but you kind of just have what comes naturally to you. And so you usually just stick with it and become a real master of that. There are some people who can just fluidly cross from one instrument to another. And obviously they're incredibly talented musicians and in the trading world, incredibly talented traders. But I've never been really able to make those types of shifts. So I kind of am more of like, I'm really good at what I'm good at, and I kind of block out everything else and try not to get too distracted by it. And Julie, the hotkey that I use for a lot of these trades, it's shift 1. And so if we go into custom orders, buy, edit, you'll see this is actually 3 cents above the ask. So 2,500 shares, 3 cents above the ask on the market of bats. So that's the route I use. I could use ARCA or EdgeX, but I happen to use bats. So let's see, say done. So yeah, anyways, that's about it for me today. Overall, a good day back on the horse, and hopefully I can stay on, the green side of the, red to green line for the rest of the month, and, just keep building my way back up. You never know when, this could have just as easily been a day where I only made $200 and I just had to say, I'll have to wait for tomorrow. It's not always the case that you get redemption the day after. And I wasn't more aggressive today because I lost yesterday. I was just aggressive today because I saw a stock was really moving. And HGSH, if I hadn't filled any of my position at 2, I would have been maybe a little more cautious about adding at 250. But my average got bumped up to 225. And so I felt like I was still in good shape on that average. All right, everyone. So that's it for me. I'll see all of you guys first thing tomorrow morning for day 3 of January. It'll be day 239 of the $1 million challenge. All right. So I hope you guys have all, set your intentions for 2018, set your goals, whatever they are. Keep your stops tight. Go for those 15, 20 cent winners, knowing occasionally you'll get a stock like HGSH that just really opens up and gives you, the full $1 per share. So my average winners today are, 39 cents per share. One is 5 cents, one is $1.01, one is 20 cents, one is 30 cents. So average winners of 39 cents, average losers of 17 cents. That's a 2-to-1 profit-loss ratio. Accuracy today was 66%, just below my 68% average. So I can handle that, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again tomorrow. All right, so I'll see all of you guys first thing tomorrow morning around 9:15 for our pre-market analysis. All right, I'll see you guys then. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.